What's up, Lifestyle Asia? This is A-Trak. We're over here at Clockenflap. It's been a couple of years since the last time I came to Hong Kong, and I don't think I've done a festival in Hong Kong before. I've been here a bunch, but it was always for clubs. So yeah, it's cool. I think the lineup for Clockenflap is really cool, you know? Like, I think nowadays a lot of festivals have very similar lineups. And I remember when I got the offer for this, I was like, oh, cool, all right. Like, it's, you know, having Air and Jack White and Central C, but also like Dave Clark is a legend, you know, and Party Boy 69. So I'm really just in town today. I wish I could stay and watch like a couple of other sets, but yeah, it's really cool. I'm also involved with a label called Juliet Records, which is something that I help out with my brother's band Chromeo. Right, and on that label, we just put out a record by this guy, Ed, E-D-D, Ed, and there's a track called Garage Sale Jazz. Yeah. Probably like Stevie Wonder, you know, my parents had Songs in the Key of Life, that album, on vinyl, and I just remember that, you know, playing at the house, and so yeah, Stevie's music really made a big mark on me when I was young. Like even before I discovered hip hop or anything really. And then recently, I love Saw Baby's album. DJing has evolved a lot over time. The late 70s is when like a lot of what we call DJing now, as much on the hip hop side as like the house and techno and everything else on that side too, kind of comes from, you know, a lot of things that happened in the late 70s. There was DJs before. There's DJs in the 50s and 60s. There was disco DJs in the 70s. But like, I think once hip hop and house and techno and breaks and stuff were born, that defined a lot of what we have now. And like over time, it's like all those genres kind of like intersected many times, right? Even the role of the producer and the role of the DJ, even that has like intersected in and out. Like, it's not really new that DJs are producers. Like even if you look at like someone like Jelly Bean Benitez in the 80s, you know, he produced like the early Madonna records, but he was a big New York DJ. So, you know, even Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, who produced like all the Janet Jackson records, they were DJs. So there's always been producers that were DJs, but I think now in the last like 10 or so years, producers have become like even more famous. And I think it's more rare to find DJs who don't produce, you know? So, but I just think it changes with time, and, you know, in every decade, it feels like DJs and producers all wear many hats, many roles, and it feels like in every decade, there's like one of those roles that's more to the forefront. It's gonna change, it'll change next decade, it just keeps evolving. The relationship with electronic and hip hop, electronic music and hip hop, I think a lot of people sort of oversimplify this idea that those genres are separate, but again, like they come from the same place, you know? And if you go back to like the early 80s, Africa Bambaataa, Planet Rock, you know, is a hip hop record that is electronic. It was both, and that's like part of the foundation, you know? And there's a lot of producers in the 80s like Mantronics that were like, you know, on both sides of the genres. You know, someone like Todd Terry, who's a legend of house music, comes from a hip hop background. Masters at Work, you know, Kenny Dope. So there's always been intersections between the genres, because really it all comes from the same break beats. We all sample the same stuff. Nowadays I play mostly electronic music, but I play it like a hip hop DJ. You know, so you can expect a good amount of house and club music, but with some scratching and, you know, the type of mixing that comes from hip hop. But still, every show's different, every set is different. I'm always improvising, so yeah, there's an element of like, what's it gonna be today? A-Trak here. My label's called Fool's Gold. I'm part of a group called Duck Sauce. I'm also part of a duo called the Brothers Maklovich. So, you know, check me out on socials, A-T-R-A-K, because I got a lot of stuff that I'm up to. I even organize a DJ competition called the Goldie Awards, and we're going to bring that back in 2025. So, all things DJing, you know, if you've been following me already, I appreciate it. It's been a long journey. if you're just discovering me now, then hopefully you'll see more of me. I'll be back in Asia soon too, so thanks.